Hello, I'm Helen. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing what I'm calling Scrappy chine-collé, combining lino printing with collage. So chine-collé, in my understanding, is collage and print, basically, combining collage and print in one process. For purists, it's using Japanese rice paper and probably with an intaglio printmaking process. But I'm going to show you how I've used it with lino and using my scraps of painted papers. I'm a process girl. I just wanted I want to know how things work. I want to know how I can make things work for me. So cats have kind of snuck into my world a little bit at the moment, and cats have kind of snuck into my sketchbooks. They have snuck in a little bit, and so yeah, I particularly love this one, my sleeping cat there. This one is after I was lucky enough to go to the Terza Garwood exhibition down at Collage, and so I did a painting of from her Erskine returning at dawn. I've also been inspired by John Craxton, the Craxton cats. This is the John Craxton book. Absolutely beautiful book. Let me take that out so I can flick it. Craxton cats. So John Craxton was a British artist, and his cats are just adorable, absolutely adorable. So yeah, it's a beautiful book of collection of his cats. So if you've got the opportunity to have a look at that, buy it or have put it on your list for birthdays or Christmas, then do. It's a beautiful book. So anyway, I have played around with some blocks to do some cat printing. So I tried a couple of collagraphs. So these are cardboard. Obviously cardboard, it's not a durable block at all, but it does make a print. And then I have also done a lino. It's very bold, it's very graphic, I like the style of it, but it was very plain. So what can I do with this to make it a little bit more interesting? Now I could easily just cut another block and do a 2-block print, but I have decided not to do that at the moment. So that's another print from there. So I played around with, could I print onto different papers? And as you can see, these are some of my painted papers. And yes, it prints on there beautifully, but you've got the same colour underneath background and the subject. And so I thought, I don't really want that. I want the subject to be different. How can I make the subject different? I then thought, okay, well, I could just cut this out and collage it onto something else. But it's the fiddly bit of cutting around the whiskers and cutting the eyes out. Yeah, that really wasn't appealing to me so much. So those were my first experiments. That is one of the prints from the collagraph. And so I took it one stage further. And I thought, right, I'm going to have a go at this chine-collé. Can chine-collé work with painted paper? Does it have to be the rice paper? No, it doesn't. It will work. It will work with anything else. So here I have used the chine-collé process to put a piece of collage onto my printing paper. And for me, that works. I was really happy with that result. Both of these are torn. One of them, I'm not sure, it might be on the pegboard behind, I can't remember. One of them I cut the collage out and it was too neat. But these ones I've torn the shape of the cat first of all, and that for me gives a nicer texture to the overall effect. It's not the best quality paper. Yes, I have ruckled it, but I haven't flattened it, so I am going to be weighting it down. The ink is still a little bit tacky, so when that's fully dry, I will weight it down and see if I can get this flatter. I've also done another one where again the collage is torn, but I've put it onto a printed background here. Yeah, this morning I just thought I would have a play and do some more and just show you the process of how I combine collage with lino. So I've got a collection of printed papers, which I'm going to use. These ones I thought I would use as the background. This one is a gel print of some bamboo, which I thought I would cut in half and see if I could use that as a background. And again, this is another gel print that wasn't tremendously successful. And I'm going to have a go at cutting that into the background. It's going to be A6 size. The cat is going to sit on there. I'm going to have a look and maybe use some of these papers to create my cat. I don't think I'm going to use that yellow. I thought that one might be fun. So this is just onto newsprint. It was a monoprint, so yeah, I've scribed on the back, and it's left these marks here. So I thought I would use that. First thing I need to do is to get the collage shape that I need for the cat. And so the ink is going to go onto here. You want the ink to go that way. So basically you want, if this was a stamper, you'd be stamping on top of your paper like so. So what I'm going to do is just put my paper upside down. I'm going to take a rubbing so I know where my cat shape is. So this is a rubbing of the lino. So I'm just using, this is a graphite stick pencil thing, but you can use anything. I am just marking the eyes because you'll see in a minute. I do need to know where the eyes are, but basically you need the outside shape of your cat. Then I'm just going to tear it out. I'm not going to worry about the whiskers because the whiskers are going to be printed. So I'm going to tear the whiskers off. You're going to get, because I've just used graphite, I'm going to get smudgy fingers. That's fine. I'm just nibbling away around the edge, just tearing around the edge, and it gives a nice organic shape. But if you want a neat shape, you can cut it. I just wanted to combine the torn paper. So that's my cat shape. I didn't want the cat's eyes to be the same colour as the background. In my print here, I just cut the eye shape away on the paper, and the white of the background paper is showing through. I'm just going to cut the eyes out and pop a piece of white paper underneath. I'll probably put a scrap of this underneath. This is where you're all going to get confused with me, because the left-hander tends to go for her right hand when cutting. I'm a real ambidextrous person. So yeah, don't get confused. I am a bit, I will chop and change a bit with things like craft knives. I don't necessarily stick to my left hand. Anyway, so those are my cat's eyes out. And I want some something underneath just to show through. Let's use that little bit of paper there. It's probably going to be enough. And so I'm just going to stick a piece of paper underneath for the white of the eyes when the eyes are printed. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of my cat and stick it so the eyes are white on the outside. Got a little bit of extra paper just showing through there, which I'm going to nip away. So I'm going to carry on and tear several of these cat shapes. So when I come to my printing process, I've got several cats to print all at the same time. I'll speedy this bit along, and I will see you in a little while. I have set up my table for printing. These little trays I've found very useful. So these were a pack of 3. They're disposable plastic serving platters, but I've actually found it very useful for inking. They do have a little dimple in the middle, and there's a couple of circle marks. So you wouldn't be able to print from them, but it's a very nice, useful way of printing, and then I can easily pick things up and take them to wash up. I've got a stack of, I've cut the spine off of an old National Trust magazine thing, handbook. So I'm going to be rolling my print on there. Those are my stack of papers ready for printing, and I've also got a registration board here which I've made up. I've worked out where, so this is a template for A6 size, where my paper needs to sit, so I know that I'm going to line up with this guide here, line my paper up with this guide here to then press my paper on top. I've got a wooden spoon handy. I've got another roller if I want to roller on top. I'm going to use, this is quite new to me, I do have a stash of water-based block inks, printing inks, but I'm going to use this one. So this is the Caligo Safe Wash. It's a relief printing ink, oil-based but washable, so I'm going to use that. I'm just going to put a little bit out on my tray, suck that back up, and glue that back on. Oh, the other thing I need, I'm going to use a Pritt stick to stick the collage on. If you were being purist, you would use rice glue, nori paste. I have used that. It is a bit wet to use. This is Scrappy printing. I'm happy to use a Pritt stick, but you use whatever ink you want to use for your process. So I'm hoping everything is going to be within shot on the tabletop. I'll try not to move out of my space. So let's just get printing. So let's get some ink on the roller. Now, I'm no expert at this. I'm no expert at anything. So if you want expert tuition, then maybe don't follow what I do. But this is how I do it. So I've got my cat here, and I'm just going to ink up my cat Lino. Now, I've found that, like the first pancake, the first print is not always the best. So I'm just literally going to stamp off that first print on a piece of paper here and take my print from here. It has actually printed okay, but that's my process at the moment. So I'm going to pop a little bit more ink on, and I think that is ready to go. So what we want to do is we want to, let's put you over there on the board. So we want to do the gluing and the printing in one process. Ink on my paper, on my hands, so let's move that out the way. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of my collage piece. So just literally going to glue the back of the collage. And then this is the bit where you've got to commit, and you're putting your collage face down on your printing block. And once it's on, otherwise you'll get a smudge. And this is where your gloves might stick, and they do. And I should have taken my gloves off. This bit. So I'm going to take my gloves off. I've got my piece of paper. I'm going to line it up with my guidelines and squash it on. And this is where you do not need to move or slide anything. I don't know whether you can see some of that cat showing through. I'm going to burnish it with my wooden spoon to make sure all the print is covered. Obviously, if you have a press, that's going to make your life a lot easier, but I don't. Let's have a look, see what we've got. I'm going to hold it on just to make sure. Yep, and the collage paper should peel away with the print, and that's what you're left with. So it glues the collage down and prints at the same time. I've got some marks here which I could have a problem with. I'm not, but yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to carry on and do the rest of them. Yeah. So I've got a board here next to me just to lay them out. I'm actually going to try just carrying on without any gloves. Sometimes I think the gloves just get in the way. So ink up, pop it on. You're gluing to the back of your cat. That then goes face down onto my printing block. So I'm lining up my paper with my guidelines, commit, and pressure down. Still holding it, giving it a bit of a roll just to get most things contacted. Holding it while I burnish with my wooden spoon. And with the burnishing, you're helping the glue to adhere to the paper as well as the ink to the collage piece. So this is a very, very simple design, but obviously you can make this as complex as you like. I always, when I'm trying out a new process, I want to keep things as simple as possible until I've worked out the process that works for me. But yeah, once you're happy with your method of printing, then of course you can go on and do all sorts of more complex designs. And of course you can go down the route of using, the authentic Japanese papers, if that's what you want to do. Tissue papers are going to have a bit more of a transparency to them. If your design warrants that, I'm going to hold it on there and just have a little peep. Yep, I'm happy with that there. I'm going to go for it. And that's my second cat. Might try and wipe some of those bits off of the block next time. But yeah, I like that process. I like the straight line of the print against the torn line of the paper. But I also like the fact that the eyes are a bit more defined. They're not the same as the body. Yeah. Cat number 2. So one way of getting rid of this bit here that keeps marking up is to carve that out a bit more or cut that piece off. I'm obviously not going to do that at the moment because it's an inky block. I might just see if I can blot some of that ink off. Okay, let's see whether that helps. So I've left a bit, it's difficult to see on this block here, but there is a bit of a right angle corner there that I can nudge my block into so it registers. This bit's going to be interesting because it's still got some of the design of the gel plate on it, but we'll see what that looks like. Okay, let's have a look at you. So this one, I don't know whether you will be able to see. I haven't quite had enough glue on the ear. Can you see that? So the glue on, so that when the print is dry, I'll have to slide a bit of glue underneath that. So this one, it was dictionary paper that's been printed on, and so I've actually used the wordage side for the eyes on this one. So there's a little bit of text showing through on the eyes. So I'm just going to crack on and do the other 3. I'll probably speedy these ones along. I don't think we need to see them all. I have got a wet wipe nearby as well, just to get inky fingers sorted. I also find that the Pritt stick doesn't curl the paper quite so much. So when I tried it with the nori paste, the collage paper was curling, so it was difficult to place on top of the block. I'm actually getting some black stripes on this one now as the block is being used more, but I'm actually quite liking those black stripes on the orange stripes. Okay, this one might not be quite so good because it did move. Let's see. It got stuck to my fingers. Okay, let's see what we've done. Oh, I think I got away with it. It's a bit blotchy here, but yeah, pretty happy with those. So I'm going to clear up now and we'll have a look at these in a bit. These are sitting on the board ready. They're drying. They're going to take a few days to dry. Oil-based ink does take longer than the water-based ink. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this result. It may not be the authentic chine-collé, but you know it works and it's giving me some fun results. So I'm happy with that. I'm particularly liking the black ones. I think these are my favourite ones on here. The black on the yellow, really like that. I've got a piece of paper here just so you can have a look at what they look like with a bit of white space around them. I'm not actually minding this marking here. That doesn't bother me, but I just love the torn effect of the paper and the patterns on the paper. So yeah, using up some scraps for some Scrappy chine-collé to make some cute little cats. Each one of these cats is, by its very nature, unique. I'm never going to be able to replicate this exactly, other than digitally. But that's the fun of it, isn't it? So yeah, I'm really liking this process. It's ticking a box for me. So yeah, I've kind of learned how it works for me at home. I don't have a printing press. I don't have a block press or a roller press. I do have underneath my table here a pasta maker, so watch out for that one in later videos. So I'm having fun experimenting with a pasta maker. But yeah, I'm really pleased with these. So it's utilising a very simple lino block and making it as colourful or as much as you like. So it works for me because, like I said, I can put some different colour underneath the eye, but also the whiskers are printed onto the background rather than onto, you know, the collage or the body of the cat. So yeah. So there we go, Scrappy chine-collé. So I hope that's been interesting. It's certainly been fun for me. I enjoy this sort of thing. Have a go. See how you get on. I really, really, really am blown away by my year of tea videos. Oh my goodness me, I can't believe it. So thank you so much for all the likes and comments that video has had. I can't believe it. I think I'm on about 17 or 18,000 views. As far as I'm concerned, that's gone viral. Yeah, who would think that my little videos made from my little third bedroom here in a bit of a wild and woolly Cambridgeshire would reach so many people, but apparently it has, and so that's really exciting. So thank you very much for all the wonderful support that that you're all giving. It's just brilliant. I'm humbled, very humbled. Um, Future videos, I'm going to be looking. I'm enjoying the exploring the processes of printing at home again. So I'm going to explore that more. I'm going to have a look at what you can do with your leftover ink. So that's one idea that I've got coming up. But I'm also going to be playing with that pasta maker that's underneath the table here, and maybe having a go at doing some Scrappy and Teglo printing. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends. And until next time, bye for now.